server's logged out. Come on. Too late. Hi. Hello, and welcome to the next part of everyone else's final preparatory book session. I should probably change the event to actually call them that. This is, well, another bookkeeping session, which actually take place. These are done individually or sometimes in pairs or however many want to do them together. But we're going to be playing today with Snow and Gyan for Arleigh.
No.
PC names. But yes, now we have these two who currently have done what? What did you plan to do? Tell me. Tell us. And me again, who's probably watching this. Probably only me.
Haha.
What are we doing? Come on. Eden.
Talis.
Husk. Husk. No Nitro. It's no longer Christmas. Skill issue. You only got that because you were late.
Sure, but I'm still around.
Anyway. That's all?
I think that's the only one we're doing.
I guess that does sum it up. Gyan and Arleigh both have decided to band together to seek out both the Tullus to find out what's happened to her, as well as generally meet with the Lorehold faculty, or any faculty really happens to be there, to essentially or establish relations with them before the final journey is made. Part of this was advice given to you by Viola Runeweaver, director of the Biblioplex, since she kind of just signed you all up without any beans or high up tech to guess that this is also part of the goal to actually make your plan in cahoots. The rest, well, you hope so. But first, before all that, both of you make your way through the desert sands of Lorehold campus, going from your fresh breeze central to the more arid environment full of grains and sweeping hot winds. Until it doesn't last too long, thankfully, as you find yourself in the front of the faculty building, which you remember quite well, only because you snuck into this place and broke in during the end of last year. You two and acknowledge each other now. So, you're at the door. Feel familiar?
Well, I guess we're here now. Gyan opens it.
Just opens it.
Yes. We're
Without
not
so
here
much
to
as a
waste
knock,
time.
Gyan just opens the set of double doors, not first row, as you are met with the long hallway that you all walked through at the end of last year, as well as the sound of moving gears, likely the constructs that are working at these hours, as well as the echoing sound of footsteps in distant rooms. This is the faculty. Doors open.
Well, And no one is here.
Well, no one in the hallway. You're at the hallway.
Yeah. Do we just walk forward?
Where's Bobber? Maybe you can find him. Not. Speaks it out loud. You do see the wall of living paintings just now illuminated under the light, allowing you to actually get to see their full pictures. As well, several of their eyes turn to look at you all. One of them, one closest to you, depicting an old archaeological explorer here, just asks, "Appointment?" So maybe that's why.
Wait, what did they ask?
Appointment? Do you have an appointment?
Do we?
Up to you. Did you make one?
Gyan probably didn't because this was Arleigh's idea. Did Arleigh make an appointment?
They probably did, since this is a teen. Kinda need to have formality. Assuming you say that. Arleigh clarifies the details of making your appointment. The painting whispers to, well, the edge of its border. With leans here to its frame, where the hitting blast decides the two double doors that each flank your left and right. Your left and right. Well, those top hat and monocle carved out from stone. You whisper loud enough to hear. Salutations, my friend. Current health, although you are right to come here. Very well, then. Assume you've made an appointment, then it should be no bother. I am delighted to see that you well, decided to say hello, and a hello to you too.
Well, last saw each other.
Very well. Life's well as a spirit statue, you see. Every day you get to repeat anything without feeling tiredness, hunger, sadness, nor pain.
That does indeed sound like a fun life.
Indeed. Just have to make sure that all your rocks are intact.
That is indeed a worry.
I should
Well,
polish my
we'll
monument.
see you after talking to the dean.
Very well then. Off with off with you, oh fleshy friends. And to you too, my metal compatriot.
Marlet waves.
Discord, send my messages.
Snow struggling.
Okay, I'm back. They've basically just been talking.
The struggle is real.
It's raining. Not in Manila, here's why. You're very far from Manila.
Far from home, far from Manila.
Anyways, well, moving forward, you meet with another set of double doors leading into reception. Do you actually knock for this one, or do you also just enter in? Knock, knock. Arleigh knocks
Who's
before
there?
Gyan could even decide. Knock, knock. You hear what sounds like an elderly woman's voice. Enter.
Gyan barges in.
Are all the staff here old?
It's
A
McGonagall.
professor of, well, professor of based on her robe colors order. He would be wearing more whites than red, but as well, she checks, sees you two, and asks, "Who are you here for, Wazowski?" And now you watch Monsters Inc. He's just repeating the question. What are you here for? Hello? Hello? Ah, I said we were here to meet right Friday. Evening Tullus? Meet with Dean Tullus. She opens up the appointed visitors and scheduled meeting with the Dean. Ah, well, you are on record. Is this Belmont and Verdan then?
That would be us.
Ah, I see then. Well, before I did allow you to meet the Dean, moves. Actually, well, she doesn't move. She signals to the spirit statue and points to just knock answering the door. You hear up a set of footsteps that march down the not the hallway, the room, opening the door and you in. Well, I see you're here. Long time, long time without seeing each other. I hope you two have been in good health. As Medea Kitsune comes to meet you. Hi, Ozzy again.
Oh, it's the other one.
Oh, it's the other one. Another one from the same clan. Hello.
Gyan just nods in meeting. Nice to see you again.
Well, things could definitely be better, but don't think I need to recall to you all that happened. Why? But, well, long story short, I need to be here to actually keep you there. Doing well. Where we're going is, well, she needs to be there to activate it. If the pleasantries are done, just follow me. So here we are.
Gyan follows
As you are
behind,
taken,
pushing Arleigh along because she seems off.
she seems,
Arleigh is lost in thought.
well, Medea might seem. I'm just struggling with Wi-Fi. If Medea seems off to you, it's because, well, pretty much all of the time you've actually met her before was when she was under the influence, not of alcohol, but of, well, magical orb curses. She takes you over here, just. She was permanently drunk. Mhm. Drunk on love. No, she was. Well, Ozzy would say she was. Probably is. Anyways, sounds very Ozzy. Anyways, as she holds up her hand to activate the bookshelf separating this place, you are greeted with a familiar closet of smog. As well, you are very well aware that this is a teleportation door. There are actually, before you enter, I must inform you that Intellus has been meeting with a lot of faculty. Well, it hasn't exactly gone unheard of. There were, other parties who wanted to get involved in discussion, so don't be surprised if there's more of them in the room than you might have expected. Well, you can handle it. Any questions? He's just telling you that, there may be more faculty in the room than you expected because, they know that you were here and wanted to get in on the discussion, and, he says, kind of telling you to maybe prepare yourselves. That's a good warning. They won't bite, literally. At least. Noted. I think we should get going then. Very well. Well, luckily you arrived on schedule. That's at least one plus point of you two already. Well, doors open. Get going. E2. E3. Shall. Yeah, don't go straight up punching stuff. Again, please. Or a warp. Ba 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 ba. Sitting. Find
Dun
yourself
dun 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 dun.
in, a room that would otherwise be something you recognize as your former battlefield. As you look around, the place has definitely been tidied up from all the furniture that flew at your faces and, spell blasts that had to happen inside the area, so at least that part's been cleaned. Inside this little pocket dimension of the Lorehold faculty building, you, you see not just one, but several of the professor variety that you're looking for, as Dean Tullis is currently seated, being aided by familiar face and surrounded by other familiar faces. As they all turn to look at you, having just arrived. As you
Oh
look
wow,
around, you
that is.
see a representative, actual representatives of the 5 colleges for you. See, several. To list them off, you see Ovilda Miscoiler, the Dean of Protection of Prismari College, the Ambrose Lu, the Dean of Shadows, Silvercliff College, Imbraham, Dean of Theory of Contracts College. You see a Dragon's Guard, Rowena, from, well, from your Dragon's Guard companions. Lizette, the Dean of the Root of Witherbloom, is, well, Lizette, the Dean of the Root of Witherbloom, is currently aiding Dean Tullis as if a nurse tending to the sick. And well, of course, Augusta Tullis herself, Dean of Order of Warlock, her/him. This one's the her. The other one you're probably thinking. Well, greetings. Ah, you too, then. Dean Tullis says in a bit of bated breaths. There's much to discuss. As the other deans are here, kind of just eye you all and make some space as you approach the central crystal. Arleigh is nervous. As you approach and get closer to them, other deans notice you and, well, make comment. Ambrose starts off with, only two of you. Give me a sec. He asks. Ambrose Liu, Silver Goldine, just comments rather than just asks. Only two of you? Follows up. Oh, I've seen you before.
Oh, I'm back.
All of us would have come, but unfortunately there have been many preparations to make, so only two of us could make it. It's true. Viola always making plans. I think that she would get students involved in all this. I suppose you're here to justify the reason. Now. Shouldn't discount the youth for being rash. I'm sure they have their own perfectly justifiable reasons for agreeing to that. I, for one, want to hear what they have to say. And while I'm sure you know the fate of one of us, does that continues Wing Tullis? It'd be best to hear them out first before getting into them like that. Rowena. Dragon's Guard continues to stay vigilant. About probably guess. Anyway, children then. Well, first, I'd like to apologize you've dealt with Vedalken. Yeah, I've already received my heartfelt for having caused such a diversion. My negligence caused us to be put in this situation, and for that I'm sorry for you all as well. But bring then other Or is it just sending messages? And surviving off mobile data. Can you actually hear us? Clearly? Like, are we cutting off for you? Can you actually hear us? No? You hear now. What did she say last? Well, I'm not gonna repeat all that again. But, well, what she said last was, well, basically, she apologizes to you about, well, having caused the entirety of last year, and also putting the school in this situation. It was due to her negligence, after all. You have all that you have to do, you have to do. Do you have anything to say? She basically just ended the thought there and is waiting for if you have a response. Conversation, after all. Is hard. Okay, Sid. Can you transcript? So no, if you actually can't hear us well consistently, tell me and I'll take over recording, because this is important stuff that you're going to be hearing, and a lot of it is compact and information. Be really intimidating to go alone. No. Well, since you're here, I suppose I could tell you a lot more. Tell me, are you truly going through with the director's plan? The rest of the deans look at the two of you, seeing if you're serious about this. Are you truly going with the director's plan? I've already made my decision, and that's to follow through with the others. Gyan? Mike isn't miking, Sid. This might take a while then. Because, oh, well, we'll see. Take back to fortify the defenses of the campus, but I'm still committed to the operation at large. Well then, I suppose that says that. Oh boy, well, have fun answering the questions that's about to be thrown at you. Because what comes next is Ambrose, Silver Quildine of Shadows, interjects between all of you. And what makes you think the rest of us would just agree to this? You have a reason to believe that we won't stop you here right now. I also have this concern. We are the representatives of the entire college after all. Not all of us. That might be the case, but time is of the essence. Sitting here ending attack will leave us vulnerable to surprises. And what makes you so certain? Imbraham then follows up. What do you know about these adversaries that can make you say that we wouldn't be able to defend ourselves? Besides, we've shown that we can mostly execute the most reckless of plans. And if I may interject, I know you currently have a situation with your companion. Do they know about the veil? Yep, they're the ones who found it out. And yeah, Lizette continues. I don't mean to interject, but while I know you have currently a purse too, this isn't exactly, well, the easiest thing to handle. We're talking about trekking through outside the campus. To the heart of the enemy base. I know you, but my fellow deans, the presence of the Orik to all but students. They're still students. It would be irresponsible for all of us to simply just allow you to do this. Your blessing and help would definitely make it more likely to succeed. We need to gain the advantage by striking first, and they'll be expecting you all to respond more than us. Oh, Ambrose. Ambrose peeks at this proposal. You're asking we help you. Bold, I'll give you that. What kind of help? A student to talk up to a dean like this. I brought up a lot of well, among thousands. As of the sort. But well, whether or not these ones are the best in the batch, I would like to find out for myself. That which you are the most endowed. You may have a lot of things, but knowledge and wisdom is lacking than you all's. So you admit it. So you admit it then. You cannot do this. Right? Send the entire student body to take care of this. Right? Well, a frontal assault may not work, but we have our ways. With your strength, but with your mind, with your strength, your strength. Edition, a journey. How prepared are you? And what makes you certain you won't repeat the same mistakes as our teen once did? No offense, Tullus. No, you are right. They are right. You will be going to where we did, apart, despite all of our caution. My expedition team trained for for dangerous scenarios. Well, yes, we did not face serious confrontation. We also did not come out unharmed, given what has just happened. You're basically saying, if they if they could fall victim to the Orik, what makes you so certain that you can't? You won't.
Well, we've been confronting them for a while now, and besides, what is knowledge but learning from others' mistakes?
I, for one, would be willing to give them the chance. Augusta! No, you've heard them. There's nothing we can do for an attack. All we can do is defend. Besides, it is just like last time. We'll need all the strength we can get here. I'm sure you all each care about your individual colleges. Just leave them behind. Even if you could, you wouldn't go out of your way to do what they're gonna do, would you? A fair point. I'm less convinced. Ambrose steps forward, vocally your party, and also one of the teens that have seen you all in action the least, personally at least. He walks forward to you, Gyan. He does the thing where somebody looks at you, then well, meets you at eye level, looks down to your feet, looks back up to eye level, and puts a hand to his I've heard the tales. I've heard what you've done. I've heard of your actions. And now I've heard your words. Put them all together. Here's what I see. A group of misfits. Circumstance. Falling. Situation and another. And getting huh, may convince them the might of Silver Quill. Well, addition would be to convince the other what we're doing now. Debate with me, young one. They led my support, and not, well, shall we say, capable Dragonheart, who, even if blinded by the veil of non-detection, still have years, decades more experience than you all. Why should I be putting my support in your basket when we have them? What makes you so special?
Well, the thing is special, which is why it wouldn't, if you will. Would you be thinking that your adversary, with all the manpower in the world, would decide to send a bunch of kids to fight you? We would be the last thing they expect to see knocking on their door.
Okay. And here we start a set challenge, shall we say. The stage is raised for Polychrome to gain the support of key members of the faculty. May lend your aid. There is a goal to be achieved here. This is a series of, well, what Ambrose just brought up as debates. To start with, Snow, where are you?
I need the charisma. God damn it, I don't have charisma.
With that, I would like you to make a persuading argument supporting with that. Thankfully, I am taking into account what you say for the DC, so I would like you to make a persuasion check. Arleigh is with you, so thankfully, 2 makes 1. You have advantage. Oh, I have 5 in persuasion.
Then
Yeah,
snow roll,
it can be either of you.
snow roll with advantage. Help. Look like fierce and cute at the
I'm
same time.
looking
I
to
don't know.
see if you can get the minim the, the required amount of successes before, well, the critical amount of failures. We'll roll as many times as we need to see either 3 successes or 3 failures. Should I roll a new thing for my book? You still keep the last one you have, or you're doing. Actually, yeah, you're keeping the last one since you already had your own personal one with, yeah, whatever that was. So I still have that 18. Okay. I will tell you if you succeed or fail, because we'll either need 3 successes or 3 failures. We get friendship die from the fight or just group die. Yep, I pinged it. I pinged you about it. Check your pings in the main channel for how much. I think it was 2, but just make sure. You got one from, well, executing Midnight's birthday. Or 2, I think.
Wait, give me a sec. Oh, what? Wait, I'll confirm and then to.
I can't search for shit. I'm pretty sure. Literally just searching the server, die, and okay,
Why isn't anything showing up for friendship?
because I said group dice. That's why.
Oh,
Literally just search dice, and yep, first result. You gain 2 group dice each from Murdock's, not Murdock, Midnight,
oh yeah.
from Midnight's birthday, specifically.
Well, that's good.
Midnight doesn't have to be there for you to use it because it applies to anyone.
Right now, BRB a sec. Snow can type till then.
Yep. Whoever's rolling this has advantage since there's 2 of you. If you can get, yep, if you can get all 3 successes, you gain the support of all of the non-favorable deans, aka there's 3 that you have to convince to lend their support to you. As well, these 3 are the ones who are specifically against sending you. There are 5 deans here, 2 of them are in your favor, 3 of them are not in favor. And well, you make the argument you made, Gyan. Ambrose considers that. And, well, puts a smile on his face. Fair play then. You're right. They wouldn't expect that. And I also would not have expected you, Quandrix, to step up to my level. You're bold. I'll give you that. Very well then. I'll provide to you the support of Silverquill College. You'll have my word. Don't fail. He says that with emphasis.
Thank you, Dean. We won't let you down.
I'll get something from that which, well, I'll tell you later. Next up, Vilda, who brings up her points. You call yourselves, well, unspecial. While I do not doubt you have done all that I know you've done, and I was humbled by your success over my team during your second year in Mage Tower. But I must ask, for the methods you all employ, how will your brutish actions achieve our success? To bring that point, again, we have our Dragon's Guard. They're trained to handle these situations. You all are students who had to learn on the spot, shall we say, to succeed on every encounter that you've all faced. It comes to no surprise that I'm a meticulous person. If the outcome was produced by a lackluster solution, then I do not deem that as a favorable work. Being a perfection, basically. How will you do what you will do? What methods will you employ to achieve your grand results? And essentially here, yep, that one was basically the only one that required a persuasion check. Every other of these checks, though, I can allow any skill check, assuming you bring up an argument that lets you use that skill. In this case, Ovilda is asking you, what are your methods?
Hehehe, that's perfect.
That's perfect.
Gyan is gonna. Does Snow have an answer or should I?
Yep. Ambrose was the only one that required a persuasion check. Any of these, well, articulate an actual good thought, argument for me, and see if I'll allow you to make that as the check you want.
I assume then I'll take this one. Gyan just takes a moment to think and then says, "Well, Miss Dean, so far on our misadventures, we haven't had the foresight or the, well, knowledge to predict the attacks that were coming on to us. But on each occasion, the stakes were our life or, well, to live and get to here at this point. And I'm sure you will agree that while studying through books and all is fun and a great way to learn, but learning on the field is the best. And this time we have foresight to look forward and use our intel and the entire college's intel, the university's intel, in fact, to, well, plan something that the enemy never expects us to do. Well, that combined with defenses here at campus, we are practically infallible.
Okay. What are you using?
Hmm. Probably Arcana or something like magic, intelligence related like investigation, because the main point is to plan and stuff.
I can allow
To
investigation.
plan.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Again, there's two of you. You have advantage.
let's go. Let's hope I
Imagine
don't
doing
roll
this
shit.
solo.
Hahaha, that would be so fun, right? Wait, is level 10? Does it change the proficiency? Because I have not
Uh,
leveled up yet.
no, I think that was level 9. It should be
All
plus
right,
4
cool.
proficiency.
Yeah, all right. Listen, I was busy. I'll do it today probably.
I mean, I don't think he gets a new skill at level 10 anyway.
The only thing I got was magic item thing for Artificer.
Create magic items for the rest of the team unattuned to all the ones you have and just give them all extra magic items.
Yeah, that's what I was planning to do.
Assuming they even. Oof.
Wow, that was shit. You know what? I'm gonna use inspiration. Inspiration.
Uh, sure.
Do I reroll the whole thing or do I just roll one side?
I guess it would be re-rolling once. Wanna use the 18? You could use the 18.
I mean,
Be
we could use the
26.
18th. Yeah, that would be a 26. We can use it or save it for the next one. Because then I mean, yeah, I
Also,
have both
also
inspiration,
check
so I
if
can use
your
anyone.
student dice, your exam dice that you worked so hard to get, actually is applicable. Because people keep forgetting about the exam dice.
I have Arcana and it's history, not investigation.
Okay.
So I.
Also,
Hmm?
you would have also gotten extra exam dice functionally if you were one of the people who studied your thesis, or prepared your thesis, because those give extra.
Yeah, those were the ones I have for Arcana and history, and then the exam ones which are in survival.
Well, you'll probably be needing nature and survival.
Yep. Also,
They're going.
does both inspiration do just one extra, or I have both
I mean,
BM and
if you want to
beloved?
use both, you can make essentially a complete reroll with advantage, sure.
Hmm. Not sure. Let's save the 18. I'll do that.
Mm-hmm. 17. To boost
Wow.
that,
I'll add. Yeah, I'll add my uh, flash of genius. So 21.
21.
Can I also add friendship? That would
Sure.
be fun.
24.
24. Yep.
Uh, Very well then. You make a sound argument. I have no rebuttal for that. Then, I'll lend you the support of Prismari. Your barbaric maneuvers could use some grace to touch you up. Out. With our support, you'll learn our techniques. Or enhance the ones you already know to be even greater. I'm sure you'll find our advice useful. If Mari joins your support, Imbraham then steps up. My concern is simple. God, my voice hurts.
Damn, you're committed.
To infiltrate the heart of the enemy base, one would normally think you would send a dozen? More, twice a dozen? Thrice a dozen? But you're just one group of students. You've just proven your ingenuity, sure. Your tactics, sure. Your know-how, that too. But what of your flexibility? What of your individual ability? The lower numbers may prove to be your advantage. Stealth. In an unorthodox entering. But what of a numbers conflict? The enemy is likely to have way more than you on that dimension, even if most of their forces will be attacking us. What will you do to make up for them? To use your minimum of companions to achieve these maximum results. How will you deal with literally being outnumbered at pretty much any point in time? Quite fitting.
So, do you want to take this one? Or should I continue cooking? If you have a good answer, go ahead. I'll have to pull something out of my ass to answer this one.
What's your answer, though? Let me just reach into my ass real quick.
I was just gonna say something like we divide and conquer. So like,
We literally have
you
a sword
know,
named that.
yep. We can make the enemy play to what we are good at.
Yeah, how do you deal with being outnumbered, even if you'll be sneaking around too when their main forces would be out and about? You're still going to the heart of the enemy base. It would be reasonable to expect that at any point you would be outnumbered. That, well, the forces of the Oriq at any time would be enough to, well, overpower you in that dimension. Like, what would you do to make up for it? If you're just your group of students.
Give me a second to think.
Ambrose asked about your character. Uvilda asked about your methods. Imbraham asked about your, well, I don't know, stats? All of them very fitting answers for what they represent, or very, very fitting questions for what they represent.
Oh, I have an idea. This is like similar to the divide and conquer thing, but I don't know if you know this, but Hannibal, I think that's the dude.
Mhm.
He used like against in the second Punic War, he lured the Romans into a false sense of security by making them think that they are safe within, well, surrounded by the Alps and stuff. So he straight up crossed the Alps and was like, "Hey!" and started fighting in their home
Uh,
territory.
oh wait, I think I know this. Who did you say again?
Hannibal,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the Carthaginian dude.
I've heard that definitely. Will you explain that?
I mean, if Snow doesn't have a better answer, then I guess we can.
Hmm. Numbers don't matter.
Yeah, numbers don't matter
Literally
if you're
telling the
playing.
math professor of math professors. Numbers don't matter.
Strength is numbers, but well, when your numbers are strong, you can beat puny numbers. That is definitely yes.
Hmm?
That the math is nothing.
You see, Professor, all of them have a +6 to hit. My AC is 18. I could raise that up to 20 if I equip a shield, 25 if I use the shield spell, and well, they would stand no chance. What's a +6? What's it to hit? Should I make Hannibal and Strix? Hannibal Barca. That was it.
Yep.
Clarifying Hannibal Barca, not the cannibal Hannibal.
No, Hannibal Barca. Not the movie character.
We fought enough to recognize any weaknesses, and we've been outnumbered a few times already. Figuring out those weaknesses helped us turn the tides. But yours sounds like something a Quantrix would agree to, so up to you.
We could also do both. It's not like we can't make two arguments at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Question is, what skill do you want to associate with that? That does sound like a wisdom thing, to be fair.
Yeah, it would be probably. Insight would definitely work.
Yeah, I'd honestly agree to that, yeah. I'd honestly say that insight does seem like a fair use for that, and you'd be using all three. 8 insight.
I mean, 8 is still good, so. Both of our arguments can be summed up within insight, so we can just do both for our peace sake.
Perception I don't think applies here. You can't look hard enough into their eyes to see.
Yeah. It'd have to be insight, probably.
It'd have to be insight. I use perception for a staring contest until they agree. Probably me.
Alright, wait, we need to RP. That's the point.
We need to RP, Snow. It's a role-playing game. It's like half of the acronym. It's tabletop role-playing game. Actually, no, it's only 1/4. But, well, role-playing game.
Well, we aren't doing the tabletop part already, so let's at least do the role-playing thing.
We are doing the tabletop part. Well,
I
not
mean,
literally.
Yeah.
Okay, who speaks first?
Alright, I'll start. You bring up the rear. Well, Dean, I'm sure you've heard the tale of a folk hero of ages ago who, with a small army, marched against a massive empire that had, well, long subdued it. But the size of his army was not the issue, because that is what lured the massive empire into a false sense of security, which he used cunningly to draw them out to where they were disadvantaged and struck them hard enough that they didn't have time to react. Yes, Bannable Harka. So was his name. And well, I'm sure we can pull off something similar if we tried hard enough. And we already have the numbers disadvantage part down. Alright, now Snow go. Snow. Do the thing.
I can hear you.
Oh. Wait. Alright, I guess we can... Oh.
I'm typing! Jill!
It doesn't say you are typing. Okay, now it says you're typing.
And if it comes to it, we've already experienced a few times when we get outnumbered. Not as large as a whole unit, though. But we still managed to turn the tides of being outnumbered by being strategic and finding out what weaknesses they have. And that we can exploit. Numbers can't really help if they're at that in disadvantage. Discord is weird, but he didn't say that. Numbers don't matter. Well, that's one. Roll for it?
Snow, go.
I mean, if you're
It's
using
them
18,
I choose you.
If you're using the 18, you won't have to roll. It's not like Snow has
Oh, yeah.
any other times to use that 18 on.
Just use the 18, we get a 26.
Unless you think there's gonna be another skill check after this.
We'll cross that road. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I'll try once. I'll inspo, then use the 18. I don't remember if that works. I'll allow it for this. Okay! Inspo!
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, then we're just doing math. 18 plus 8 is 26. To beat the Quandrix with addition. Your argument totals a 26. Imbraham concede. Very well then. The power of totally not foresight. Use that argument against me, of all people. Very well then. You'll have my support. Quandrix will lend its aid. With our help, I'll make sure you make the most of the little you have. As all three deans that were against you, well, concede, lending their support. Dean Tullis and Lizette, who are already in your favor, see this outcome and, well, acknowledge their compatriots' now unanimous decision to support you all, giving you all, well, several benefits, which some of them I've already kind of explained, but okay. So this is what we're going to be getting from that unanimous success. Essentially, had you failed any of them, you would not have gotten the support from that dean and that college, and you would have only walked out with the support of the two of them, the ones that already support you, Alice and Lizette. But since you have all of them, I could just copy this entire message. You gain, for your use of the endgame, representations of the support granted by each of the colleges, all 5 of them, listing to this. You might want to sit back and read for this one. You gain the college boons. These are your party-wide abilities to help with, well, what you're going to be encountering in the endgame. These are boons granted by the aid of Strixhaven's colleges, and are usable by the entire party. Assert dominance! Yes, I when I was thinking of what it did, I had to name it that. And essentially, these are group abilities. Some of them are active, some of them are reactive, and one of them is just entirely passive. You'll probably love the Witherbloom one, as the support of Lorehold grants you Restore Balance. The support of Silverquill grants you Assert Dominance. The support of Prismari grants you the Art of Flow. Pondrix gives you Brain Blast, and Witherbloom has finally unlocked Bountiful Healing, which you have probably wanted since you started using potions that way. And, well, in short, these are representatives. These are representations of the support granted to you from each of the colleges. Just to make things simple, most of these are single use. Essentially, Restore Balance. Once per combat, if a hostile creature lands a critical hit, 2 of you can use reactions when that hit lands to turn the critical into a normal hit. So if you're going to be attacked by something that does 5d10 plus 10 damage and you don't want that crit, you might want to use that. It is once per combat though. Silverquill is Assert Dominance. You can use an action in combat to select a hostile foe and subtract 10 from their initiative, essentially slowing down the turn of one, well, probably high-rolling creature. Make sure that everyone goes before them when the turn starts. It's a once per combat thing, so when a combat starts, you can use it once. If you get into another combat, you can use it again. Same thing with Restore Balance. Both of them are once per combat. Prismari grants you Art of Flow, and, well, it is active on the first turn of your combat. When it's round 1, you can use your bonus action to disengage or dash. Quite simple. Simply something that will, well, probably help you in more ways than you would expect. Pondrix is probably the most powerful one, but also the most costly. Brain Blast, yes, it's named that, is something that the entire party can do only once per long rest. And it's when a character casts a spell that targets a saving throw. You can use your reaction, or the caster's reaction, and a second spell slot of the spell's level to make it all auto-fail. All targets, no need to roll for a saving throw, everything just fails. This is, yep. So if you're using Fireball, you just spend 2 3rd level spell slots, and Fireball is auto-fail on everything. This gets even stronger with 4th level spell slots, but at the same time, it would require 2 4th level spell slots. Then Witherbloom is your passive ability. It just turns potions that purely heal. This does not count for potions that give you a spell or give you a buff. These are strictly healing potions. Health potions now require a bonus action to use, but instead, if you use it as an action, you get the maximum healing. That would be what you get in the colleges. As Sid, being right back. Anyways, I guess we'll wait for that. You can pause. You wait for Sid. Away from campus, and you're essentially going to be venturing outside. You already know this. But what you don't know is that you're specifically heading to a location noted as the Fortress Badlands. The Fortress Badlands is a location of, well, what the name implies, several rundown forts. Structures that, well, are run down from time and are falling apart. Specifically, you are going to one ruin, where Dean Tullis has identified as being the location where her team procured the orb. Or Gaxor's orb, the source of the mind control from last year. You getting this down so far?
I'm writing it down.
Mm-hmm. You're going to the Fortress Badlands, and, well, you know the general layout. Augusta then pulls out a couple scrolls that'll actually show us some things. Come here. Here then. There are specifically two places. The Fortress Badlands are a general area, but you are given a map of the location they've all mapped out so far. Don't worry, I'll give you the actual image files for this later. Several miles from campus, you would be walking specifically outside of, I think it's outside of Witherbloom's direction specifically. And now I need to look at the other things. The Fortress Badlands is a location of stone, caves, and hills. There is little to no actual life within it, but given their situation right now, it's reasonable to expect that locations and caves would be weaponized. Augusta notes that their team has found this location specifically that leads into a location that may be, well, interesting to you. As, well, let's start here. Inside this central cave is a hideout that they've discovered. Originally thought to be abandoned, it is where, well, Augusta located the planted orb. Over in these directions, you see, well, several man-made structures. Their team notes that during their expedition, they had found actual guards here, but not living guards, not Orit. Ancient beings, specifically, well, those of the otherworldly variety. Tullis expects that the Orit have employed the help of otherworldly beings, such as aberrations and undead, to act as sentries for their general location. The base itself is another location, but this is going to be the map of, well, the general area before the base. You'll get that. So, Tullis expects to be prepared for specifically undead, aberrations, and otherworldly variety. If it's true that there are also demigoths, then that will probably also include fiends. That's a useful note on creatures that you may hope to encounter here. Caves, meanwhile, are noted as dangerous. If you are to enter one of these caves, her team has actually not explored most of them. Through their magical detection, it's easy to guess that these are storage caves. They are carved. They will have rooms carved out end of them. Some of them, at least. But they are to guard the Orique's, well, treasures, essentially. And they are expected to be trapped. That's quite simple. The main thing that you would be interested in here is the central cave, which houses the special room and hideout of Murdock's. Well, you would believe to be the former room, at least, as it is where the Intullus had discovered the planted orb she was meant to discover. And that's what you would find in the Fortress Badlands. Need a recap? Sinetis. One ruin had the orb, which was where Tullus was. We get maps. Place of rocks, caves, and hills barely any life, but creatures may now be weaponized. Guards still holding man-made structures. Tullus thinks the Orique have made pacts with unearthly beings the whole century. They haven't explored most of the caves, but they think it's probably storage caves with runes at the end to guard Orique treasures. Good so far? Yep. That'll be it. If you want the expectation of the specific types of otherworldly creatures, they think it's specifically aberrations, undead, and fiends. So basically everything from protection from good and evil would cover. So be prepared for those. Also humanoid, but that's generally expected because you're fighting Orique. But that's the Fortress Badlands. This is gonna be where you're going to, well, potentially stop at before the actual home base that they've discovered. That's called the Ruins of Caerdoon. The actual fortress that, well, the Dragon's Guard believe to be the actual head of their operations. This will be where... Hold down. The Ruins of Caerdoon, well, encompass a general wide area that, well, in the center of it lies the Fortress of Caerdoon. Quite simply named. This place is noted to have regional effects. Functionally, when you enter this map, you will be under subject to 3 effects. As, well, it didn't take much to detect, but Murdock's ritual has wreaked havoc on the equilibrium of life and death, creating, well, effects that mess with the balance of life and death. Specifically 3 effects. 1 is clinging to life. Well, clinging to life. Death saving throws made in the Ruins of Caerdoon are made at, well, disadvantage. If you fall within the Ruins of Caerdoon, you can expect that life will be attempted to be sucked out of you. Any death saving throws within the ruins, within their area, and within the fortress are going to be made with disadvantage. Another is grievous wounds. Critical hits in the Ruins of Caerdoon will, well, will roll with additional damage dice. Essentially, critical hits hurt more within the Ruins of Caerdoon. The final of the regional effects is withered vegetation. Vegetation and plants, even those summoned by magical means, will appear withered and sickly. If magical, the plants may even turn against the caster. But that's important to know. So you have clinging to life, grievous wounds, and withered vegetation. So this area will have effects that will hamper life and death. Anyways. Yep, okay, you got it. Anyways, the area itself is much more simple. Generally consists of an open area that leads into the fortress, as well as the fortress itself. The fortress, however, is surrounded by a moat of sickly and, well, poisoned water. Even the most even the most resistant to poison among you all would probably not want to swim in it. It's a useful defense, making it so that the fortress really only has one entrance: the front. The ground itself around the fortress is also desecrated. Through the dark rituals conducted by Murgaxor, undead specifically have advantage on being turned, but that doesn't really matter since you guys don't have a cleric. Essentially, anyone who would use turn undead on undead that, well, walk in this area, they would resist the turn undead feature, but you guys don't need to. You guys don't use any turn undead. The fortress itself is blown away. It's understandably a ruin, as the top itself is open to the air, so it does not have a roof. So it is open to the air and maybe for air infiltration, but well, none of them have really entered it. Their expedition squad, this is only what they know from scouting. And once again, you can generally expect their defenses to be some otherworldly creatures as well. Mainly the same, just most likely more intense, as this is going to be the place where their actual head base is. And that's the ruins of Cardoon. Anything you want repeating? So it's open to the top since it's a ruin. Defenses probably still unearthly beings, but more intense. Yep, you basically got it. Okay, I'll stop for a minute because I need to use the bathroom. And essentially, well, that's what she tells you. Okay. So, who would like to save it? If you want the actual topography of the map, here they are. And those are your final destinations. Well, besides the basement, because, well, with the fortress's top being blown off, it's most likely that they are hanging out in a basement of sorts. Any questions?
What about scouts or like direct like Urik scouts or something that hang out around there?
Well, Alice would answer. During our expeditions, we did not find any. Understandable, of course, they'd likely kept them hidden. I would say that would be reasonable now that they are planning their attack. But scouts would be present. Blood mages, too. I recommend, of course, not engaging directly with confronting them. But if chance encounters may present itself, they will be mages just as you are. Anything that will work against mages will work against them. Note to self, bring counterspell.
Yeah, I was gonna ask then most of our preparations would work around fighting undead or fighting, well, mages.
Well, luckily, Celeste has you covered on that.
Yep. What else?
You
What
already
about
know. You
activity
already know
around the
their immunity to
fortress?
divination, and you know that most scouts are generally designed, at least fighting-wise, to be glass cannons. If Miyuki was an indication, well, she didn't really hit you guys. But assuming you find a party of even 2 scouts, your main concern would be avoiding their damage. Because they are specifically designed to be able to take things out quickly and efficiently and get out. But overpower them, and they don't stand much of a chance. Specifically, that's the Auric Scout. The Auric Blood Mage, on the other hand, as this would now be Lizette talking, those would be dangerous. Their magic, as vandalized from the curse placed on Augustus' body, would be won over death. If you are killed, specifically by their AoE, there is no saving you. Unless you ward yourself to death, they will be fatal. You already know this, but just as a reminder, the Auric Blood Mages, not only being stronger than the regular Auric Scouts, they have an AoE where if you fail, and it brings you to 0 hit points, you are instantly dead. Lizette recommends maybe equipping Death Ward. That would be Murdock's role, but well, you don't have a Murdock right now. Scroll maybe? Blood Mages have an AoE where if you go to 0 HP, you're fucking dead. And, well, they're generally just stronger versions of Scouts. So equip Death Ward. That's what Elizabeth would recommend. I don't think Arleigh has that in their list. Well, you're in a magic school. Finding a scroll or 2 should be possible enough. 4th level spell is a bit expensive though, so that'll probably be one of your more expensive things on your tab. But then again, maybe you can find someone who can get you a good deal. That's something for you to decide in the shopping session. So about those diamonds, Sid. JK.
Put it on the tab.
Put it on the tab. Anyways, that's what they'll tell you.
Snow, do they have questions?
Do I have questions?
Because I do not.
They basically just tell you what they would expect for you to run into. Since this time, as you said, you have the benefit of foresight. The withered vegetation thing, could we maybe effective with our own magic? Or is that the point? Or is that the point of turning against us? Well, that's not something Tullus would know, as she doesn't, well, doesn't use that type of magic. Lizette, though... It's hard to say. The specific area of the magic would likely be the ground. Most vegetation would summon from it. Any that would be, well, sourced from other sources would most likely be safer from it. Soil itself would be your enemy. Affecting your own magic would likely require purification of the soil. Or the ability to consecrate the soil. There is specifically a spell for that sort of thing, but I think it's, again, also a cleric. There's a consecration, desecration spell in existence that would help. Is it Hallow, I think? Come on. Come on. Oh, I think is that it? Hallow. Yep. That's also a 24-hour casting time. Probably not. That's a long-ass spell. Plant growth probably won't work either.
I mean, they are professors. Can't they give us death ward, like a scroll?
They'd have to source it, too. Yes. They don't just have scrolls of everything lying around. You can ask them where they would source it, but likely given their own professorly duties, it would be faster to search one yourself. I'm assuming the sky is also dangerous. Well, actually less so. They didn't really say anything about sky. If the ground is dangerous. The ground itself isn't dangerous, it's desecrated. It's basically just corrupted ground. It specifically buffs undead and makes plants, well, turn against you. It's not really poisonous or hazardous soil, it's just corrupted. That's specifically the property, and now that you look at the Hallow spell, assuming you're informed of this in character, this is likely the spell they used to turn the ground into that. Because, yep, that's what this spell does. That's what high-level spells can do. You are dealing with desecrated ground, so countering it is only something that can be done by the same spell. Dispel magic could work, but now that you've been informed of it, it would need to be 5th level Dispel magic, only at a specific area too. Not the whole thing. Yep, it's a powerful spell for a reason. Still a useful thing. I'll keep that in note. Anyways, I don't think I have any other questions. Well, Tullus would tell you. Be prepared for a long journey too. If you need transport, Lorehold will have you covered there. Our expedition carriages have helped before, if I've been made aware correctly. But still good to pack your supplies. Essentially, just be ready for an adventure. Going outside. Anyways, that's it then.
Ooh.
Any last goodbyes? Other than what Arleigh said she was gonna do?
Give her the thing you were planning to give her.
Give her the get well soon card. As Tullis looks at it and, well, well, smiles. How kind of you. I don't actually get these a lot. Thank you. And I hope your journey goes well. It embarrasses me to say, but we'll be counting on you.
Your faith is in good hands.
I just wanted to give you something for your recovery, and I wish I could have helped more in that moment, but that was the best I could do. Lizette looks at you with sympathizing eyes, Arleigh. Oh, little one. Do not worry. As someone who saves lives, decision the weight of you could have done so sooner, something that you should not harden yourself with. Our duty is to save lives, yes. As healers, sometimes it may be too late. But do not let yourself be burdened by the weight of extending yourself too far. I've heard of what happened. Given the results, you saving two is quite a feat for someone so young. Your hands, they do save lives. That's something I can say. As a practitioner of the same, you're doing well. Aww, healer to healer communication.
Ask her how to not get mad at your party.
Step 1. Don't go on adventures.
Damn, failed step 1.
That really means a lot coming from you, Dean Tullis. That was Lizette. I just wanted to make sure the same. Oh, fuck! I assume you mean Lizette. I just wanted to make sure the same thing doesn't happen to anyone I know. I'll keep doing my best, especially for my friends and the task we're doing. I won't let them and you down, Dean Witherbloom. Dean Witherbloom. Don't worry. I'll assume Arleigh said the right one. I can't even get the name in audio. Lizette. Look at Lissette. It's Lizette. There. Yep. And with that being said, well, that's that. You are now informed with both the support of the faculty as well as the knowledge to head further in to your final destination. You're armed with both support and knowledge, making your mission, hopefully, more likely to succeed. And with that, we can conclude this bookkeeping session of Strixhaven Curriculum of Chaos. Okay. Da-da-da-da. Wait, no, we have sound. We got the Avengers. And goodbye.